Till the SUV craze caught on a few years ago in India, the sedan was definitely the king of the hill when it came to Indian car buying audiences. Of course, the favorite no longer is the big, large, full-size sedan, but these, the compact sedans. And what we are driving here today is the new Ford Figo Aspire. Now, the last time we drove this car about 2 months ago, we were genuinely impressed by how good the package felt. But what about its competition? Well, the last time we put together a whole bunch of diesel compact sedans, we had 2 options and a split jury. If you wanted a fun-to-drive car with good dynamics, you chose this, the Honda Amaze. But if ease of driving and a good interior was on top of your list, you chose this. So does that change now that the Aspire is in the mix? Well, we're about to find out. Now, all these 3 cars, of course, are sub 4 meters in length to avail of the excise benefits, and all of them also have a hatchback counterpart. Thankfully, though, all of them have a different approach to their design. Let's start with the curvy Xcent then. While the curvaceous Hyundai Xcent might not be very impressive, its upright front and slim grille have managed to captivate the Indian audiences quite well. Of course, the rear is a little plain Jane with its simple boot design, but we do like the uncluttered look. On the other hand, the Amaze and the Aspire both get a very edgy design in their own right. While the Amaze has a very well slanted nose and overall proportions which are quite on point, the Aspire, with its Aston Martin-like grille and stubby boot, is the one that we like the most. It is far from perfect though, and a better set of wheels and a slightly better sculpted boot lid would have certainly made the car look much better. On the interior front, Ford has done a pretty good job on the Aspire. We particularly like the gloss black center console, and if you buy the top of the line version like the one we have here today, you also get a set of unique features like a programmable key and leather interiors. Of course, as expected, every car here comes with features like steering mounted controls, Bluetooth telephony, and a USB slot where you can plug in your phone or iPod. The Amaze even comes with a large touchscreen display with navigation and a video player. But post all of that, it does falter a little, mainly with regards to the overall dashboard design and also due to the fact that it does not offer keyless entry or automatic climate control even on the top of the line model. And this department is where the Xcent truly comes and wins the battle. Not only does it get a better design and well-made interior, but a long list of features like a reverse parking camera, parking sensors, and even a start and stop button with keyless entry. And this rich list of features is exactly why the Xcent managed to outgun both the Ford Aspire and the Honda Amaze on the interior front. The only flaw in the Xcent is the fact that the car does feel a little cramped as compared to the other 2 we have here today. Talking about sheer space, the Amaze trumps the Aspire by a very small margin. And this is mainly because of the sculpted out seats, which give you great legroom, and the wider bench, which gives you great shoulder room. The Aspire though does have the most amount of storage spaces and cubby holes, which when you use the car every day does tend to be quite useful. The diesel engine on the Honda Amaze does have a lot of power on paper, but somehow, when revved and pushed hard, it does seem to fade away a little. And of course, the Amaze is limited to 150 kilometers an hour. Not that we endorse doing that kind of speeds anyways. What does disappoint us though is the fact that the Amaze does not feel very refined, and the amount of NVH that filters into the cabin is quite high, and that could get quite annoying and especially tiring if you're on a longer drive. And now for the good points. Well, the Honda Amaze does have the best ride quality between the 3 that we are driving in today, and not a lot of noise filters into the cabin when you go over bumpy roads. However, and we have mentioned this in the past, a set of better tires would do wonders to the way the Amaze handles and of course brakes. The Hyundai Xcent is the most sedated car we have here today. It does not like being revved hard or driven aggressively in any manner, and it is the perfect car for somebody who just wants to commute from home to work every day in relative comfort. And that is exactly where the Xcent really starts to shine. With its light steering feel and easy to use clutch, the Xcent is the kind of car that does not make you feel tired after a long day's work. And although it doesn't handle really well, its softer suspension does add to the package of being an easy to use car. If you love the act of driving, you will immensely enjoy driving the Ford Figo Aspire. We love how the engine is strong both in the mid-range and the higher revs, and the power does not peak off like the other two cars we have here today. We also like how the gearbox is quite crisp and responsive, and how the throws on the gear lever itself are quite short and well placed. When it comes to handling though, the Aspire is definitely the benchmark in its category. Steering feel is great, and the car does inspire a lot of confidence both across slow and high-speed corners. The ride though is slightly stiff and slightly crashy over potholes, and a bit more damping would have certainly done the car a lot more good. In terms of safety, however, the Aspire is miles ahead of everything else in its competition, with 6 airbags on offer on the top of the line version that we have here as compared to only 2 on the other 2 cars. And with crash tests just around the corner for Indian legislation, the Aspire already has a head start in that department. As we mentioned right in the beginning of this video, the last time we tested some compact diesel sedans, we had a split decision on the jury. If you wanted a more involving car to drive, the Honda Amaze was the one for you. But if ease of driving and a good interior was your thing, it was the Xcent. So has the Ford Figo Aspire made life a lot simpler for us? Well, as a matter of fact, it has. With its good looks, competent drivetrain and great suspension setup, it is definitely our pick between these three and the new king of the compact diesel sedan segment.